Our next speaker is actually from British Columbia in Canada, but she's currently in Wales, which is, for those of you who don't know the United Kingdom so well, is the large bit that sticks out on the left-hand side of England. Not sure if that's the right way to describe it. Her name is Caru Chandrika, and she came to the devotees in 1996 and met Gurudeva first in 1999 in Badger. Took Harinam from Srila Gurudeva in San Diego in 2000, and the same year in Salt Springs, took Diksha. She edits Gurudev's books, audio books. This year, the Harmony book is coming out any moment in audio book, which is an amazing book. I'm excited for that to be happening. And she also distributes books on the street in Vancouver, which must be a lot of fun, because I was just saying to her earlier how nice the people are in Vancouver. So I imagine with her nice personality and the decent folk of Vancouver, it's probably quite a pleasurable experience. And she's over in Wales, supporting and serving with Caru Chandrika and a team to create a retreat in Wales, a retreat with animals and crops, etc., in rural Wales, which is very exciting. So we're very happy. We're not zooming over to British Columbia, we're zooming over to Wales to hear glorification of Srila Gurudeva by Caru Chandrika. Welcome, my dear. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so I think I want to just clarify one thing. I actually moved to Badger before I met Gurudeva, and if I sound shaky, it's because I'm totally nervous.
You mind turning your volume up? Volume up.
My volume up. Is that here? I will put on my microphone speakers.
Yeah, when we spoke before, I could hear you much better.
Oh, so I had to move because of the background. Is this better?
Not really. You just probably have to talk louder.
Okay. Oh, I'm connecting my AirPods.
Okay, great. Thanks, Didi.
Okay. Is it the audio better? I think we're connected. Yeah. Okay. So I'll speak up louder.
Oh, sorry, my dear. Now you sound like a robot. It's gone funny.
Okay. Then I'll take off.
This is not going to help your nerves, is it?
Okay, I'll just be really loud. Does that work?
Yeah, just talk. Just shout. Just shout. No, we can't hear you at all now. Can't hear you at all.
Connection. Maybe people could videos. Maybe the
don't know if it's
Karuna, did he? Maybe the connection there is not good.
We can't hear you, my dear. We can't hear you.
Before
Karuna? Charu, are you near her? Maybe you can tell her that we can't hear her.
Yeah, I'm going to just go out to tell her. Just wait.
Yeah, Charu?
Yeah?
We can switch around with Satyaraja. I'm going to go to Satyaraja and come back to
Yeah, I
Karuna.
think it's better. Just go to Satyaraja because it's going to take me a few minutes.
Yeah, you do that. Okay.
Okay, thanks. Okay.
No problem.
Thanks.
Ushadari, is your connection okay? You can introduce Satyaraja.
It's really temperamental, so go for it.
We can hear you fine, so you introduce your brother.
I don't know if he's there. Is he there? Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that. We're going to introduce, whilst Karuna did his internet perks back up, would like to introduce my wonderful brother, who, because of him, I am even in Krishna consciousness. And because of him, I met Srila Gurudeva and was able to do this service, meet with Srila Gurudeva. So he first brought us into Krishna consciousness by trying to when he read Srila Prabhupada's books, and then in 2007 or 8 he met some devotees that on book distribution, and they took him to Srila Gurudev in Italy in 2009 to take initiation. He got Harinam and Diksha from Srila Gurudev then in the Italy festival. There's so many glories that I can speak about my brother, and those that have met him will understand why I speak so highly of him. It's because of him that like I said, I'm even in a position to understand somewhat of Srila Gurudev's glories. So without further embarrassing him anymore, I would like to introduce our god brother, Satyaraja Prabhu from London. Haribol. Bye.
Haribol, Haribol. It's almost like a nervous laugh for me when I'm hearing all of the stuff that my sister is saying. Is obviously all Srila Gurudev, but somehow or another, Sri Guru is so merciful that his praises are automatically distributed amongst all of his devotees. Oh my God. So Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurunmilitam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Manchakalpatarupesya Kripasindubhaya Vachapati Nanda Pavane Vipyo Vaishnava Vipyo Namaha. So yeah, my sister and requested perhaps maybe I should speak about how I met Srila Gurudev and how that came about. So I'm a little bit nervous as well, like the other devotees. I'm not such a good preacher, so please kindly forgive any discrepancies in what I'm saying or any things that come out that shouldn't have come out wrongly. I'm just trying to do my utter best in trying to deliver how I basically met Srila Gurudev. So it started basically a while back. It was interesting how Achyuta Prabhuji was saying how in desperation, Srila Gurudev appeared in his dream and, really gave him the encouragement to kind of, continue with the South African festival. So that really stuck with me. At the time, maybe in leading up to 2009, when I got initiated, I basically was reading a lot of Srila Prabhupada's book. I was reading so hard. I was going through so many different personal problems at that time, and finally I found, something within Srila Prabhupada's books. I was reading mainly, the Krishna books and the the Bhagavad Gita at the time, and some other books that Srila Prabhupada was distributed, but at least I was convinced after reading the Bhagavad Gita and the translation that as it is, as well as the Krishna books. I was really firm in my faith with what Srila Prabhupada had said in those books, and it really resonated with me at that time. And I remember, at the time when I was reading Srila Prabhupada's book, I will move on to Srila Gurudev. This is a key part. When I was reading Srila Prabhupada's books, I came with a very contrary mood to Srila Prabhupada's books. At that time I was worshipping the demigods in my family home. At least the tradition is worshipping incarnations of Kali and the goddesses. And at the time as well, I was associating. My cousins had a few of those books as well, of Srila Prabhupada's books as well, and I was so involved in the Shakti tradition that and while my cousins would be arguing with me about philosophical points, I really wanted to defeat them. I had this real desire to just defeat them. And anytime they would speak about Krishna, I'd actually cover my ears. I'd absolutely just like a rakshas, just cover my ears and just hate what they're saying. I approached it in that extremely challenging mood. the Krishna Conscious and Prabhupada's book. So when I was reading Srila Prabhupada's books, and when I was reading Srila and the Bhagavad Gita, I was coming at a really challenging mood. I was trying to find discrepancies. I was trying to, use everything, every ammo I could from those books in order to defeat my cousin's arguments. This competitiveness that arose with him. But whilst I was reading Srila Prabhupada's book, some extraordinary transformation that happened. This extreme hate that I had for Krishna became something totally different. And I remember that point. I remember the point where Krishna defeated the demon Bhanasura, and Lord Shiva, released his Shiv Jwara, and Krishna released his ultimate weapon as well. And I became overjoyed when Lord Shiva was defeated, because I naturally had come to that competitive mood, reading the book. And when for some reason when Krishna defeated Lord Shiva at that time, something arose within my heart, and a transformation took place that made this whole hatred for Krishna I almost idolized him through Srila Prabhupada's books. And then I thought, maybe this is a bad thing. Like, how am I thinking about my previous worshipable deity in this defeated way and being overcome with joy from it? But it says in Srila Prabhupada's books that if you gain any joy from this particular pastime, your life will be successful. So, I got deeper and deeper and deeper into Srila Prabhupada's books. And then I was like, no, I'm 100% sure I want to get, this is my spiritual master. How can he change someone's heart from total hatred to this total admiration for the Supreme Lord? This absolutely must be my spiritual master. So I didn't realize at the time that Srila Prabhupada had taken Samadhi way long ago, ages ago. So when I found out actually Srila Prabhupada was not in this world, my heart absolutely broke. That position of that really bad worldly position and all the feelings associated with it came down like a mountain on me again when I found that Srila Prabhupada actually didn't, was already gone. And I got into a really, really bad state at that time. I would wake up crying because oh my God, my Srila Prabhupada, why is Srila Prabhupada not here? Why is Srila Prabhupada not here? Why is this extremely intense, I wouldn't say separation, but like this extremely intense feeling was there. And I was really like, totally distraught about it. Anyway, this happened for quite a while. I would just wake up and I would be like, oh my God, why is Srila Prabhupada not here? Why is Srila Prabhupada not here? And everything like this would happen. Then in this mood of total desperation, like what Achyuta Prabhuji was saying as well, a sannyasi appeared in my dream. I make it seem so Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesava Goswami Maharaj came in my dream, and I'm like, I didn't obviously recognize him at the time. I thought this might be Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada or someone like this, because obviously at that time I was only associated with ISKCON, and I only knew the ISKCON Gurujis that were lined up on the altar, and obviously our Param Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesava Goswami Maharaj, Param Gurudeva is not found in any of the ISKCON temples, so I couldn't recognize him. But the message was that, oh yeah, your Guruji is here, your Srila Gurudeva is here. And I remember vividly in my dream that as he is pointing towards the direction of Srila Gurudeva, I woke up again, And then a few days, maybe like a week later, I met a few devotees, and they were distributing Srila Gurudev's books. And I remember flicking through the pages and seeing Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesava Goswami Maharaj in the book. And I was like, oh my God, this is the sannyasi that appeared in my dream, you know? And obviously I might have been, at that time, I might have been hallucinating or something, or it could have been some kind of direction. So I took it as a direction anyway, that this is the sannyasi that came. And I took it as a direction, I took it forward, and the devotees, Vidyadhari Didi, and I remember Vrindavan Das at the time, were the ones that, as I began to learn more and more about what Srila Gurudev is writing, really wanted me to come to visit Gurudev. So that utter desperation manifested in me actually traveling to the European Italy in the European festival. I was still unsure. I was really nervous, but out of the mercy of my god brother and sister, they dragged me almost to Europe, and I absolutely did not want to be there. I still had this contrary mood that I didn't want to be there. I didn't know whether this was my Gurudev, and loads of things happened at that time, which also confirmed that I shouldn't have been there. Well, we're using my previous mind frame. So I remember that my god brother, just snippets of scenarios where, Vrindavan Das and Vidyadhari Didi took me to, where the festival was, wanted me to have a personal meeting with Srila Gurudev. And then Madhav Maharaj was there, and very sternly, Madhav Maharaj says, no, you cannot go. He's resting at the moment, So all of these left impressions. I was thinking, what's happening here? And then at the time where, it was a brief seconds where, when all the new devotees were introduced to Srila Gurudev, all the new devotees were allowed to meet Srila Gurudev and, actually speak to him and question him, and had the chance. But I was, for some reason, for destiny, I don't know, the world out there, for some reason, I didn't get the chance to kind of, speak to him or even glance at him or anything along those lines when the new devotees were introduced to Srila Gurudev. So I was like, why am I'm being left behind almost? I felt like that. When for example, my god brother was asking some other senior devotees, should this, I don't know whether to tell Srila Gurudev to give him first and second initiation, or just give him first initiation. And all the senior god brothers at the time, when I was taking, before the initiation, before all of the all of that process, they were like, no, he should only take first initiation, because you know what, he's not so qualified. He's not, chanting, and he's chanting. You can tell from his anubhav and all of this different manifestations of bodily manifestations, sanchari bhavs, that, he's not good. He should only take first and just practice, and then go in, then after some time take second initiation. So all of these things were really, really like, almost, it should have made me demotivated, but it was driving. I think Gurudev was making me even more hungry and even more eager. Then, in a state of some exhaustion and it's weird, this really weird mood appeared where I was totally exhausted, but also totally eager. I was like, I really want to go back home to my god brother. I really, 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 really want to go. I don't want to stay here no longer. And they encouraged me once again. They were like, okay, look, listen, do me a favor. You have not met Srila Gurudev yet properly. You've had no chance to actually sit down or touch him or anything along those lines. You have not had that. Just listen to his first katha. And then if you really, 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 really desire to go back home to London, Haribol, then we'll drop you to the airport and you can go back. No problem. but just do me this one favor. Just do the just listen to his first katha. So as I was walking into the so I agreed to this, and as I was walking into the tent where the Italy festival was taking place, Srila Gurudeva was obviously being now coming in, and everyone's chanting Haribol and, you know, taking him to his Vyasasan. And my god brother said, "Oh, you know, I brought, look, Srila Gurudeva, I brought you a gift. I brought you this devotee," and he pointed at me. He's been reading, and he said to Srila Gurudeva, "Oh, he's been reading your books." And Srila Gurudeva, with a very, you know, very stern face, he goes, "Look, Srila Gurudeva, he's been reading all your books." And Srila Gurudeva is like, "Oh, very good." Like, you know, I had all of this ego and everything just I think I had like some pride and something along those lines there. So with one glance, he broke just that one glance broke everything down. Like, oh my God, I'm actually nothing. Who am I to say anything? Who am I to do anything? Who am I to think anything? It just broke it all down, you know, like I don't know what that glance did, but he's like, "Oh, very good." Like, you know, it's like we could read his mood. But basically during that point, my whole pride and everything was broken. And then I remember sitting down at that katha, and he was talking about some pastimes, and everyone is singing at this moment, and they were just about to do the Guru Puja. And at that time, we were very, 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 very sincere, like and I was praying. I remember myself praying, "Oh, if you're really my Gurudev, I need to have a sign. I don't know. I'm approaching you. I don't have anything. My mind is going in so many different directions, and it might enter and touch a part of myself, which is my false ego. But please don't mind this. I'm trying to be humble. I'm using all the energy that I have. I understand that I'm nothing compared to your devotees that are present here, not even an ounce. But if you're my Srila Gurudev, please, you know, just give me a sign." So at that time, he glanced over to my direction, and he stared at me for, I don't know, he just stared at me for, I don't know how many minutes, just a continuous stare at me. I needed to know that whether this was my Srila Gurudev. So he stared at me. And then I was like, oh my God, this is some kind of confirmation. I was still feeling hesitant. And then the katha had ended. And as he was leaving, my knees, everyone was like, "Oh, bye Srila Gurudev, bye Gurudev," and leading him out of the tent where the main katha was taking place. And my knees fell to the ground. And everyone else was standing. My knees fell to the ground. And at that point, Srila Gurudev, with his hand, touched me on my head like this. And my body erupted. I was chanting Hari Bol, like with such enthusiasm. I don't know, it like felt like a lightning. Like I just, at that point, all my worries, everything, every negative thought, every negative ounce in my body just totally left my body, you know? And I was like, oh my God, I found my Srila Gurudev. Like I was always looking for Srila Prabhupada to, you know, fulfill this whole, and there was no one qualified at that time. You know, I would listen to so many devotees in ISKCON and so many other devotees, but no one, you know, could fill that void within myself. But Srila Gurudev, by simply just putting his hand on my head like this, says, I don't know what he did. All of this just appears out of the world, and I don't have too many words to kind of express how I felt that way, express how I feel. And then when it came to the initiation as well, of finally giving me initiation, and that moment of eagerness, all of this had built up. You know, I was told no by the devotees. Madhav Maharaj at that time very sternly that you shouldn't we're not going to introduce you. And then at the time, the devotees as well, the senior devotees were, no, you shouldn't be taking first and second initiation. And also, you know, at the time of when all the new devotees first initially got to see Gurudev, I was left at the back, you know. All of these things were just, you know, building up. And finally, when I took initiation, they didn't know whether they were going to give me first or second initiate, just the first. They just told Gurudev. Gurudev himself, you know, looked into me like this, you know, I don't know what he was doing. And I felt as if he knew me from all my previous lives. He's got this, I don't know, it's a very, the people really admire the Mona Lisa. The reason why they admire the Mona Lisa, there's an expression that she does, and we don't know what that expression is. It means everything in the whole world. And at the same time, it means nothing. It's like, it's something the appreciation comes from something extremely subtle, at least for the artists. But for myself, when I was seeing Srila Gurudev, the best amongst the best thing in the whole thing, the most subtlest thing, and I was staring at him while he was giving me initiation. It felt like he knew all my past lives. He gave me the slightest, I don't know, the slightest smile, and it's very difficult. It's it's very difficult to explain. But he, during that moment, he gave me so much. I really cannot explain what exactly happened during initiation. And he gave me both initiation, the first and second initiation, straight away. And it felt like he was waiting for me. I speak to all of the some of the devotees, and the devotees say some other devotees that were feeling that, you know, got initiated in 2009 felt the same, that, you know, that he'd been waiting for me to take this initiation. And I was so overjoyed. At that time, my whole life changed. And I remember my final scene at the you know, at the European festival, when all of the European festival ended, was that, you know, it's so weird. I woke up one day quite early, and all of the senior devotees, as well as Srila Gurudev, was just coming back from their morning walk. This was just about the end of the European festival, and everyone's now going to be returning home. So I was seeing Srila Gurudev walk from his I wasn't at the morning walk, but I saw Srila Gurudev you know, coming back from his morning walk from an extremely far distance. And I saw him as if, like, you know, I remember the pastime of Krishna and how he had the Kastuba money, and, you know, this particular gem, you know, shines as bright as, you know, the sun. You know, it almost covers the effulgence of the sun, because that's how bright this particular gem that Krishna has, you know, wears. You know, can't remember the name of the money. I think it is the Kastuba money. It's so bright, and there was a scene in the Srimad Bhagavatam where Krishna is walking, and all the demigods are walking him back to his palace, and this Kastuba money is extremely bright. And when I saw that scene of Srila Gurudev just coming back and walking back from his morning walk, it felt like his body was so effulgent, and all of those people that were saying no to me, you know, appeared like demigods. You know, that this was just to encourage your eagerness and encourage your enthusiasm and encourage you to be deeply associated with your spiritual master. So it all fell in place at that moment. That, oh my God, all of this was just an arrangement of Srila Gurudev. So that's all I had to say. I mean, I don't know. If I try to describe any more intricacies, it would be, I don't know how it will come out in terms of my speech, but at least I've tried my best to try and recreate some of the experiences that I felt when I was meeting my Srila Gurudev. And I hope my contrary moods didn't disturb any of the devotees there. In comparison, I pray to always meditate on my Gurudeva at the time of initiation, and also previous to that, the time of where he's, where he's got a very much more sterner face to really, drive in the humility within myself. So I meditate on these two forms that Srila Gurudev had revealed to me. Vanchakalpatarupasya kripasindhapaya vachapatitananda pavane vipyo vaishnavibhyo namo namaha.
Hare Krishna. Can you
Hari
hear me
Bol.
okay?
Yes, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Thank
you. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now I had to switch devices because the mic played up. Hari Bol, Prabhu. Satyaraja Prabhu, that was so beautiful. I don't know about this being nervous, and I don't know about not being a good preacher. That doesn't sound like what I just heard. I think Gurudev wants you to preach more and more, actually, because you preach with the heart. It's not always about how many verses we know. It's not always about how erudite we might sound. The most important thing that Srila Gurudev wants from his devotees is honesty and simplicity of the heart. And you have that in spades. That really comes through. I was actually on Tenderhook of one of those series, I just what's coming next. It was really, really beautiful. And I know from my friendship with your sister Yashodhari how important a role you've played in your family to bring them to Srila Gurudev, to bring them to Krishna consciousness. And I know sometimes that's hard to accept the glorification of others, but sometimes it's important to see that we have an impact in the world, and as devotees, sharing that devotional love that's in our heart is part of our service, to spread it and give it to others, and it also keeps it burning and alive in our hearts. It's what Srila Gurudev wants, because if you think about Srila Gurudev, he didn't need to come to the West, he didn't need to leave India, he didn't need anything. He spent the last 14 years of his leela on this planet just serving the devotees, running around from India to Honolulu to South Africa to Brazil to Australia. I mean, he didn't need to do anything, none of that. He did it because he loves the devotees and because of his causeless mercy, and he wants to be able to share his causeless mercy through his devotees with others. So you've done that with your family, and I would wholeheartedly encourage you to do that with more and more people, because you definitely have the ability to touch people's hearts. So thank you so much.